Good morning everyone. This is Kamikawa Kaolin. Lie like exhaling, is this, it is a word that accurately expresses the state of ghetto, telling lies without any confusion. Last time, I introduced examples of Heidman, Sotnikova, and Naoya Tomita. This is not the only unjustified threat and harassment from Koreans. In the first place, Koreans have politics, economy, games, competitions. We are particular about winning and losing. If you want to win, I don't think you can take advantage of the loopholes in the rules. I'm willing to cheat. Where does this national character come from? South Korean President Moon Jae-in announced on December 8, 2020 about the Trans-Pacific Partnership (TPP), to which Japan and others are members. He said, "We will consider participating," and showed a positive attitude. TPP member countries are required to have advanced and comprehensive liberalization and trade investment rules. It can be said that South Korea violates the Japan-Korea Economic Claims and Economic Cooperation Agreement 1965. So-called former recruitment problem, comfort woman problem, etc. I am extremely concerned about the promises and credibility of each country. That suspicion becomes apparent when you look at what they do in sports. In December 2020, the Korean prosecutor's office pretended that a healthy person was visually impaired, participated in the Rio de Janeiro Paralympics, etc. He has charged former judo coaches and players for fraudulently receiving government incentives. It is an event that truly represents the reality of the neighboring country, which is hard for the Japanese to believe. For the visually impaired in judo at the Asian Games and Paralympics, with 13 athletes who participated in disguise as visually impaired people, the officer who instructed it was indicted in South Korea on December 1. In Japan, it was only reported by NHK and is not listed in sports newspapers. Some people laugh at it, saying, "It's just minor news." Not only is it related to the basis of sports for people with disabilities, this is a valuable lesson for approaching against South Korea. In October 2018, Korean cable TV, JTBC, reported as a special event, D player won a medal in the 2016 Rio Paralympics judo event. Since then, I have been receiving a pension every month as part of the reward for the medalist. However, player D is currently active as a healthy player. A non-disabled athlete is from the Disabled Judo Association. She testifies that she received a suggestion that she should act in the hospital. It's just that systematic counterfeiting is done in a straightforward manner. Persons with corrected visual acuity of 0.02 or less are eligible for disability grade 2 in South Korea. The player got a driver's license and participated in the 2015 World Sports Tournament for the disabled and won a silver medal. The young athlete may not have been able to continue acting for the visually impaired. The outline remains the same, but it is excerpted from the Chosen Ilbo, December 2, 2008, at the tournament in Jakarta, 2018, 11 of the 15 players who participated in judo as the Korean national team were fake visually impaired. 11 people won medals at the Paralympics. He also won gold medals at Asian and Para competitions, winning with excellent results in multiple international competitions. They cost 42.92 million won, about 4,047,000 yen, if there are many, received as a bounty from the Korean government. The director also received 15.46 million won, about 1,458,000 yen, as a reward. The visual impairment section of the sports competition for the disabled. Shouldn't we impose sanctions that Koreans are banned? On the Korean internet, shameful, you should get your bounty and pension back. There was a lot of writing. What is strange is opinions asking for the return of medals and apologies to players from other countries were unremarkable. After all, as a recent thing, a junior high school girl who was said to be a Korean genius Go girl, she defeated Korea's top Go player in an online Go tournament. However, this genius girl puts a small earphone in her ear through she analyzes the game with artificial intelligence (AI) in a separate room. It came to light that she was informed of the next move she had obtained. Because I'm a minor, because I'm reflecting on it, she seems to have to be suspended for a limited time. It's scary that she's 13 years old and she's tampered with. In addition, for the honor of South Korea, the news that can be called intellectual disability fraud does not seem to be limited to South Korea. The most famous is what happened at the 2000 Sydney Paralympics. Spain won the intellectual disability basketball. 10 out of 12 national players. It was discovered that he was a healthy person pretending to have an intellectual disability. The impact was enormous. Until the 2012 London Paralympics, not limited to basketball, people with intellectual disabilities are no longer able to participate in the Paralympics. In any competition. Even after that, there was no movement to disguise himself in his favor. There is also a bargain between countries. There may be requests from other countries to check again. There has been much debate in recent years about classification, regardless of whether it is fraudulent or not. For example, wheelchair basketball from the International Paralympic Committee (IPC) to the International Wheelchair Basketball Federation. Questions about classification were raised. It is different from the IPC's criteria for classes with mild disabilities. A warning was issued that the competition may be excluded from the Tokyo Paralympics if it is not reviewed. There were many so-called Hanagata players in that class, which caused worldwide upset, but the League of Nations has proceeded with the re-examination of the relevant players. As a result, one female player was ineligible in Japan. She was not eligible for the Paralympics. This is an example of swinging the site in a different way from fraud. That's how much fairness is valued through classification. This fall, the Japan Paralympic Committee, when an athlete meeting was held online, the athletes who participated. How will the classification be done according to disabilities in the absence of international competitions? It is said that a voice of anxiety was raised. Athletes are also aware of the importance of classification and are highly aware of fairness. Whether it's the Olympic Games or the Paralympic Games, injustice sometimes happens as long as humans work on it. So is doping. However, Korean injustice is as a problem that can shake all the rules so far. It is not allowed to leave it as it is. Strict disposal is required. Lie like exhaling, the Japanese, and people all over the world, should never forget this word. Don't be fooled by Korean lies. That's all.